Okay guys, so now we're going to talk about the gastrointestinal tract or the digestive system, which is the process of breaking down food into things that the body can use and of course excreting waste materials. So of course the digestive system, it starts at the mouth, which is involved in mechanical digestion or the process of breaking down food and creating what is called a bolus. So your teeth are what's grinding and chewing that food. And there's also chemical digestion taking place with salivary amylase, which is an enzyme that's going to convert starch into sugars. And then, of course, food is going to go from the mouth through the pharynx and then through the esophagus. Now, I wanted to point out that within the mouth, there's also what's called the epiglottis, and it's covering your trachea so that food or whatever you drink doesn't go down your windpipe, so that you know when you drink, say, water and you begin coughing and you say, oh, it went down the wrong pipe, that means that it went through your epiglottis into your trachea. Okay, so when food goes through the esophagus, it's then going to enter your stomach. The stomach has two sphincter muscles. The esophageal sphincter, also known as the cardiac sphincter, is at the very beginning of the stomach. And so when food is coming down, that sphincter is going to expand and let food in. And then the pyloric sphincter is between the stomach and the duodenum. So the pyloric sphincter is going to expand, and the cardiac sphincter is going to compress to push food through into the intestine. Now, the stomach itself contains hydrochloric acid and pepsin, and these both aid in digestion. They're also called gastric juices. So the hydrochloric acid, it's going to be denaturing proteins and sort of harming bacteria as well. And of course, pepsin is also going to be involved in an enzymatic pathway as well. So from the stomach, food then enters the small intestine, and the small intestine takes part in 3 of the 4 processes of digestion. That's absorption, secretion, and chemical digestion. So within the small intestine, there are these villi and microvilli, and they serve to increase surface area for digestion. And I also wanted to point out that, remember, the small intestine is supposed to be a very long organ. So sharks have that spiral valve in their valvular intestine. And then humans, we also have a very long small intestine. Fish have a very long small intestine. And the point of this is to increase the amount of time that food is spent in that organ being broken down and digested. So chemicals within the small intestine include things like amylase and lactase that are being secreted from the different villi. You also have the pancreatic juices, which have been dumped into the duodenum and the small intestine from the pancreas, and these involve trypsin and bicarbonate ions and a number of other enzymes as well. And also important to note that there are 3 portions to the small intestine. Your duodenum is the first portion, and then your jejunum and your ileum. Intestine is going to go into the large intestine that begins with the cecum. Now, the cecum is involved in the immune system, but it also houses probiotics. And probiotics are good bacteria that help out your digestive system and your immune system, unlike antibiotics, which are used to kill any bacteria that are harmful. Now, the last portion of your large intestine is the rectum. That's where feces is stored, and then the external opening at the end of the rectum is the anus. And so that's basically the pathway of the digestive system in a nutshell. There are a number of accessory digestive organs as well, one of which is the liver. Once again, the liver is the largest organ in the body, in the human body as well. And that's where detoxification of blood takes place, and bile production and storage of glucose and energy. Now, the gallbladder is going to store this bile, and bile is an emulsifier, so it breaks up fat droplets into little small pieces that enzymes can interact with and break down more efficiently. And so gallbladder is going to actually store that bile, and then it's going to release it through what's called the common bile duct into the duodenum, and it's going to break down fat droplets within the small intestine. The last one is the pancreas. The pancreas has both an endocrine and exocrine function. So the endocrine function involves insulin and glucagon, but the exocrine function involves a suite of digestive enzymes that are being dumped into the pancreatic duct and then go to the small intestine to aid in digestion. Some of you said the spleen would be an accessory organ, but I really wouldn't consider that to be the case because the spleen is involved in like immune system function and storage, production, and elimination of red blood cells. So when you think of accessory digestive organs, think about these three main ones. Some people also consider the salivary glands in the mouth to be part of the accessory digestive organs, but these are the three main ones that you want to keep in mind.